It's live on KEXP. I'm your host, DJ Kevin Cole from listener-powered, independent 90.3 FM here in Seattle, 92.7 in the Bay Area, streaming 24/7 online at KEXP.org. KEXP is a nonprofit arts organization, and these live performances are made possible from donations from listeners just like you. Thanks to everybody who's donated to KEXP. I'm happy to be joined today by Donny Bene, all the way from Sydney, Australia. Welcome, Donny. It's great having you in the band here.
Well, thank you. It's great to be back.
Let's hear some tracks from Infinite Desires, and then we'll talk about it.
Sounds great. All right.
Laced with fantasy, real life will never be the same. I love you and I love me. Which one do we let come first? We're melting into each other's arms, night after night. The point of no return, soon we'll be connected. Feelings of tension inside, emotionally restricted. Just let go and close your eyes. Torrents of passion flowing free. We're reaching the higher feeling. Our bodies entwined. Multiply with me. Fantasize and set you free. Multiply with me. Fantasize and set you free. No doubt, Ogaz getting hot enough to toast. Come now, get down, what we got what we need the most. No doubt, Ogaz getting hot enough to toast.
Donny Bene live on KEXP. Multiply the song. That's from the new album, Infinite Desires. Listener powered, KEXP.
Keeps dividing. Russia keeps on fighting. China keeps on giving the gift that keeps on living. When the orange man came into power, the minutes soon felt like hours. Then the old man won the election, but the world didn't change direction. Where did we get it wrong in that world? Why can't we get along in that world? It's over, the end of the American dream. It's over, so long to the American dream. Afghanistan, Papua New Guinea, Perth, and Mexico City. People are hurting all around us, but we scroll on by till something was out of us. We do nothing, cause that's what's expected. We live our lives with our own agendas. We find ourselves a missed opportunity. We place our faith in false conspiracies. Where did we get it wrong in that world? Where did we grow apart in that world? It's over, the end of the American dream. It's over, so long to the American dream. It's over, the end of the American dream. It's over, so long to the American dream.
So good. Such a groove. Donny Bene live on KEXP, American Dream, the track from Infinite Desires. Donny, Bene, live on KEXP, tracks from the new album Infinite Desires.
Touch with no hesitation, our hands guided by desire. We're heading to the point of no return. Intimate thoughts run our minds. You say you want me now, but I need to hear it first. Just whisper in my ear, I'll take you for a word. One question's all it takes to fulfill our desires. Consensual loving, baby, the love that feels right. Oh, Rick, I'm thinking about your silken touch. Anticipation drive me wild. I got your pictures from the postman. I bet he took a peek inside. You don't need to seduce me, 'cause I love your body and your mind. Your words alone can drive a young man wild. You and I, let's take a ride. You say you want me now, but I need to hear it first. Just whisper in my ear, I'll take you for your word. One question's all it takes to fulfill our desires. We space a two-way street, let's pull over to the side. I know that's you I need, I'll give you everything. Consensual loving, baby. Consensual loving tonight. Consensual loving, baby. The love that feels right. Consensual loving, you want my loving. I want your loving, we both want loving. Consensual loving, you want my loving. I want your loving, we both want loving. Consensual loving.
Oh, yeah. My day just got a lot better. It's Donny, Bene, live in studio here at KEXP. 4 tracks from the new album, Infinite Desires. You just heard Consensual Loving, Forbidden Love, American Dream, and Multiply. Donny, it's great having you here. Last time you were here, you were solo. It was you and I in this room.
Correct.
Tell me about the band and introduce the band. How did it all come together?
The band, well, how did it come together? Since birth, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
So on the drums, I have my younger brother, which is Mr. James Waples, who's a great drummer and very talented cymbalsmith from Australia.
Welcome.
And on the saxophone, we have my older brother, Daniel Waples, who's now in Florence, Italy. He's also a handy with the sax and handy with his hands.
Yes.
And we've got the King. He's been given the nickname when we played in, where was it? Dallas? Nashville. Someone said, I want to put the money in the King's pants. And that's the King is Peter J. Koopman from New Zealand, who's joined us. And we've been playing together now, I guess, since 2020. Actually, we were all set to go.
Yeah.
This exact band in March of 2020 to start our world tour. And I think we got halfway through a rehearsal when everything was...
Yeah. You had been building momentum for years, and which was amazing to witness. And you're kind of a road warrior. I mean, at least pre-pandemic, you'd be out there in the U.S. 2-3 times a year doing solo shows.
I think I did 5 tours of Europe and 3 tours of the U.S. and it was all on the up. I mean, everyone got screwed, but my album came out, I think April or May of 2020, so I had to push on and get it out there into the world. Yeah.
Well, tell me about this album. So when did you record this album, and was this sort of a pandemic?
I was trying it not to be. It was a bit of backstory. Like 2020 was Mr. Experience coming out, and so that came out, as I said, like a month after everything shut down. I was doing weekly shows called the D Zone until the record came out. That was to kind of hold my audience's attention, and it actually built it tenfold. And so I spent 2020 just basically doing online like promotion and performances and all of the record. I think we played a few times in Australia, but 2021 and 2020, like everyone, I started upskilling. James got me a drum kit. I started adding that to the recordings. And 2021, I kind of wrote Le Piano as a bit of a... because I hadn't had a chance to tour Mr. Experience, I didn't want to start recording new music with vocals. So I put that out. And then 2021, 22, this record came out. It was written, sorry. And then I wouldn't say get hold back, but then I started my own label. So that took a while to make sure all the my ducks are lined up in a row. So
yeah. How's that going? The Donnyland Records.
It's good. Yeah, I just basically things are changing in the landscape of the music industry, and I'm very fortunate that I've got a good audience around the world. I can kind of interact with my fan base via my socials, and so I've got that reach that's just you can't buy. So it made perfect sense to kind of own your masters. And with touring, selling records and merch is the only way of making any income. So having control of that, having control of the amount of stock I could have ready for people to enjoy and purchase. So there's that, and it was other fun. The fun part about I'm looking forward to is I've got a lot of other little projects I want to do, all related to Donny Bene, that I've kind of got, free reign to do from now on. So putting out weird 7 inches of like Italian, bagpipe disco or something like that.
These projects, they would be your band or collaborations or just anything. One-off?
First off, I want to do so Le Piano was a kind of an idea of a series. So I want to do one called, the next one will be Il Basso, which is going to be based on the bass, and then La Batterie for drums. So
cool.
Doing a kind of little thing of those, and then, collaborate. I'm quite not sure yet. I mean, it's been a intense few years. I want to sit back for a few months at least after all this touring, and then get writing again. I guess.
It's kind of cool. Maybe like you were just working so hard pre-pandemic, touring. Then you just worked really hard during this downtime to create all these other kind of ideas, projects, record label. So you always keep yourself busy. I wanted to ask about the live show because man, you've got such a connection with your audience. You've just built this amazing audience, and your live shows are legendary for their energy and their humor. So tell me about that connection and how you manage to keep your audience engaged.
It probably came actually from my days as a jazz musician. In a past life, I was I guess, like a blue chip, young, up-and-coming double bassist. And jazz is great music to perform and play. And I always felt a disconnect from the audience, though. And there's that jazz mentality, and I feel that if the audience likes it, that's uncool, because you're playing this kind of obscure, like, highly intellectual music that only, other musicians should be able to get. So there's that was a weird thing for me. And I was in some really serious settings, and that's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It taught me everything I know about music. But I kind of wanted to lighten up a bit and play to an audience. I started doing some non-jazz shows with artists like Jack Ladder, and I was playing with a great Sydney Australian singer, Sarah Blasco, and they all have audiences their age, and they're very connected. So I guess I was very conscious of connecting with an audience, and like, would I enjoy watching that?
Yeah.
Like, my experiences going and watching jazz gigs, I'm like, oh man, there's a guy that's dressing like shit on the stage, like looking down at the ground and playing this incredible music, but it's just like it's for him only, him or her only. So I guess I made a point of that, and even just like dressing up properly and putting on like a show. And it was a weird thing, because jazz musicians called shows gigs, and then non-jazz musicians called gigs shows. Yeah. So a few of my jazz friends pulled me up and like, oh, you're calling them shows now. So I guess it was putting on like a show and like engaging the audience. First and foremost, myself playing music that I enjoy, because I'm the guy up there that's got to do it, and then I would also like to listen to. So I think it was pretty easy for me to, once I got that idea in my head, it was like, cool, we just got to go ahead and write the music and then go and play it.
Yeah. There's a kind of a slickness, sheen, or effortlessness to your sound. At the same time, these incredibly fiery licks, maybe jazzy. What's your secret to making it sound so effortless and smooth?
I don't know. I mean, without sounding like an asshole, I think coming from a family of musicians, we're all kind of naturally inclined to playing music in an instinctive way. Mm-hmm. I mean, to play Donny Bene music and sing and play bass is crazy hard. I'll spend months making it all into kind of an autopilot secondary response. So it takes a while to put the vocals together with the bass, but once it gets there, it's kind of ingrained, and I can just, my eyes can wander the audience and smile at people. And
it's hard work. You just have to do.
You got to put it in. Yeah, I mean, you've got to put it in. Like all of us, we're all jazz trained as well, and there's a lot of technical work you do in the early days that you keep those good habits, like any athlete with stretching or getting a good technique. So there's kind of that. So kids practice.
I was going to liken it to an athlete. You mentioned being busy in the different things and projects you're doing, and I did want to mention your social media game is really strong. And what a great way to connect with listeners. And you were talking about like piano, and the next one maybe being about the bass. But for those who haven't experienced you on social or on YouTube, man, you do these behind the scenes, really entertaining, but really they show your chops.
I just think what I'd like to see. Like, I'm a huge nerd. I'll go trolling YouTube looking at gear, and you see someone's got this bass and they play it and they can't really play, and it's so disappointing, because you could have my $5,000 if only you could demonstrate it properly. And there's growing up as a kid, there's all those 1980s and 1990s instructional videos by those great session musicians that we all hear on every single bit of music, we don't realise. So kind of going for that approach of like, but kind of in the Australian way of taking the piss a bit. Yeah.
There's always a bit of that where it's almost performance art.
Yeah.
Where you're sort of, it's a nod to maybe those those instructional videos, but there's just great humor and amazing playing. So you have talked a teeny bit about your evolution, but 15 years in now and 6 albums in, who is Donny Bene?
I'm getting a bit softer in character. It's funny, we had to do a 10-year anniversary of Don't Hold Back, and listening to some of the lyrical content of those songs, and they're very innocent, and I guess back then was my heavy Prince phase. Yeah. So songs about getting rejected by prostitutes and just stuff like that, just silly stuff that you write when you're in your 20s, just like you go back and hear all the early Prince stuff and you're like, man, it's like that wouldn't fly today. Yeah. But it's evolved from that now. I guess this album is in between, I would say the Don was the last one I did without kids. And the Dawn that's my kind of Mona Lisa. And that record was written leisurely over many years. And, you know, I had the benefit of a great DJ friend of mine getting me to DJ just so I could, he's like, go check it out, you know, do some DJing. It was great for me because it helped me pick tempos, keys. I could see what songs the audience would react to. Then going after that, I became a parent when I did Mr. Experience and also Infinite Desires. And so it's kind of softened now to Consensual Loving is basically my take on, I was listening to a lot of Isley Brothers during the pandemic and is it Beneath the Sheets or Between the Sheets? I've got a song called one of those. But they're cool songs. It's about getting down and getting sexy. But, you know, they sound dated. It's not the way to do it. So I guess Donny's evolved into like still that sleek, sexy operator, but like with respect, which is, you know, and people always ask me, Donny, like, give me some love advice. I'm like, be a good listener.
Yeah.
That'll get you a long way.
You recently said in an interview that I feel like I've given my listeners more of me this time around.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think with that, obviously everyone's experiences in the pandemic were different. As you kind of pointed out before, like I was working the whole way through, so I was really hustling, and I was trying to, on one hand there was this beautiful blank slate and this great opportunity to take all the time in the world because we knew in Australia that we couldn't travel anywhere until we were vaccinated, and that was ages. So I was like, great, I've got like a year and a half to write a record. That's crazy. But I was also doing it, staring at a wall, and I'd hear my two children on the trampoline in the backyard or running around giggling. It was really hard. So that kind of played into it a lot of making it lighter and then also darker in things like every time I go on tour, it's really tricky. Like I've got two young children, so we were all, it's a hard thing to do. So I guess I allowed a little bit more of that nature of myself into, rather than, and I couldn't go back and repeat the Don again. Like the Don is about a cocky guy in his 30s, like trying to pick up and have a good time. And, the only thing I'm picking up now are toys.
That's great. Donny Bene live on KEXP. One last question as we're heading into the rest of 2024 and beyond. What for you would be your infinite desires?
Ooh, to have some rest. Yes, I think rest, family time, doing some. It's been great doing shows. So I think I'm looking forward to getting back to. We haven't played the record in Australia yet, so I'm really looking forward to getting home. It's been a really busy 3 months, so I think that, and then rest, and then building my studio again and starting this whole process over. I think it's one of my favorite things to do is write and record music, so I'm looking forward to getting back to that. Great.
Donny Bene live on KEXP. Thank you all for being here today. It was a real joy having you on the show on KEXP, and huge thanks to the KEXP crew. Thanks to everybody who is listening or watching this. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notifications when we launch videos like Donny Bene live on KEXP. And again, these sessions are made possible by donations from listeners just like you. So huge thanks. Donny, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Kevin.
And I'm Kevin Cole. Thanks for listening and watching live on KEXP. Discover new music at kexp.org.